Good night, guys. This is Bedtime Reads, the stories we read so we can fall asleep together. And it's almost Christmas, so I thought, why not read some scary stories? I have not read them in advance, so we're gonna discover them together. And I have three stories, and I'm already feeling uncomfortable because, first of all, English is my second language. I'm not sure I can get scared as I won't understand 80% of it. And second of all, I don't really believe that you can get scared just from reading the story. One thing watching a movie, okay, but reading a story, I don't feel like it's a thing. Anyways, let's see. And if you're gonna get scared, you just let me know in the comments, pause, drink a cup of tea, and then we can move on. The Whispers. This is, do I record at all? Yeah, oh my gosh, okay. The Whispers. This is a story I do not often tell. I promise sincerely that this has scared me for life, and although I have looked into psychological explanation for what I heard and natural explanations for what occurred, they remain unsatisfactory. When I was a child, I was scared of the dark. I guess like we all were. I swore to my mother I heard voices in it. They were not evil, but they were not familiar, and so they scared me. I mean, if I heard voices in the dark in my house, I would move out the next day. I would not even consider if it's familiar to me or not. That's not how you deal with the darkness. It was not uncommon in the middle of the night for me to wake up and hear whispers, as I would call them when asking my mom. She figured they were just bumps in the night and typical kids' nightmare material. I tried often to explain to her that it was more than that they sounded different from one another the way people's voices do. So I can understand already. Like, she heard the voices and her mother heard the voices. But her mother was like, I don't believe in this shit. I'm an adult already. So probably it's just like kids' nightmare material. On some nights, I would get so scared from the whispers that I would sleep in my mom's bed with her. It was an added bonus that the bathroom was directly outside of her bedroom door for my late night tinkles. Yeah, you can shit your pants when you hear the whisper. That's great that the bathroom is nearby, right? I should add at this point that when walking out into the hall to go to the bathroom, you look directly down the stairs that would lead you into my living room on the first floor, as my mom's bedroom was on the second floor. Every time, by the way, every time when I read the story or book, I always picture it in my head. It's easier for me to remember details and just understand the plot. It doesn't relate to English at all because it's just another story. I can't picture things when I read things in English. But what about you? I'm curious. When you read this story, do you picture it in your head or you just like go through the words and it's just words to you? Let me know in the comments. On one such night around Christmas, I awoke and felt the need to relive myself. I guess she just wanted to go to pee, right? That's what it means, relive myself. Okay, I walked out from the door and distinctly heard the phrase, "Look." I could be very cute ghost, like, look. And to my astonishment, a red light, almost like a spotlight, was cast upon the wall at the very bottom of the stairs. The light had no other source. It was by itself, and I was transfixed by it. What does transfixed mean? I think it should be already scary enough for me to like shit my pants, but I just don't get the word transfixed. Being a little kid and it only been a few days from Christmas, I knew what this light was. Really, what was it? It was Santa. Oh, yeah. Okay, sure. I forgot she's a kid. How else could he get into my house to know I was being a good boy? I was being a good boy. Oh my gosh, I thought that was a girl, and I said every time she. I was so excited I began walking down the stairs to greet him, picking up my pace after the second step as it began to creep off the wall and fade into the darkness in my living room. That's when I heard him, a very strong masculine voice, different from the first, not at all like my father's. Not to say he isn't masculine, it was just distinctly different. I like the little explanation part in it. Like, not to say he isn't masculine, like it was just different, like his father is reading this and he would be like so offended by that. It said, "Stop right now. Go back up those stairs." Yeah, he said it exactly this way so the boy would understand him clearly, okay? I listened, turned around, and what happened next? I'm not sure I would believe if someone had told me this same story. After reaching the top of the stairs, I heard a very loud crash that sent me running back to my mother's bed, where I jumped straight under the covers and stayed there the whole night. I would actually just go outside of the house. Like, if I've heard that, I would not think that the house is my safe place anymore. It will not be a safe place anymore. I would just go anywhere. Even the forest would like seem like a safe place, okay? When we awake the next morning, the poinsettia lights, little Christmas flowers light that glow red, a little explanation part, my mother had put on the railing down the stairs were pulled straight down to the bottom of the stairs. Room had fallen from the wall. Oh, sorry, I mixed different phrases from the stairs. Some broken from what seemed like a forceful tear laying in a single pile. The dry sink in my living room had fallen from the wall. My mother could not explain it. Yeah, I think it's hard now to say it was just like a nightmare kids material or what was it? Yeah. My father was worried we had been the victims of a home invasion. My sister was crying. There was nothing missing. Nobody had broken in. There did not seem to be any reason this had happened. And then I saw it. Okay, she saw what? And I kept quiet about it because I was so afraid that I could not force words out of my mouth. What did she see? I feel like I read the explanation only, but I didn't get to the part where where who was the monster. I didn't get the part who was that creature. There on the edge of the wooden dry sink, which had been facing up, were three identifications. I remember I told you that English is my second language. Here we go. Identification. I don't know. I don't know how to read it. Identification. No, that's so bad. That's so bad. I feel so embarrassed. Identations. It's like identities, but not identities. Identations. Where the finish on the wood had been worn, almost as in a forceful grip. Something down there had grabbed it and threw it down. That was what the bang was. I was mortified. After that day, I never heard a single voice again. I do not like to imagine what was something that had physically acted upon two things in my house near the bottom of that stairwell. This is how my house looks like every day. Okay? Especially if I record a video, it's like chaos. Okay? It looks like exactly how he described it. After this, I had never heard another whisper again, which is sad. She's like, I got used to it. Actually, it helps me to fall asleep, which is sad because in some ways I would have liked to thank the man, masculine energy, the question sign, that had stopped me from going down those stairs. Oh my gosh, I just got it. I just got it. So it was a spirit or a ghost whatsoever that stopped a boy from going downstairs when the boy heard the creepy sound. So it's like the ghost protected the boy from anything bad that could have happened, right? But it's a good thing, right? It's a good thing. And I guess the story, The Whispers, is based on real events. I don't know. One of those stories is based on real events. Okay, it's someone's story, and this story seems like someone's story, but I feel good about the boy that nothing bad happened to him, but also I feel bad that I was not scared at all. Like, where is the scary part? You guys, you promised me the scary part. Where is that? So this happened when I was 7. I'm 20 years old now, and because of this incident, I'm still afraid of the dark, especially shadowy there. Well, are you afraid of the dark? I would not say that I'm afraid of the dark. Yeah, I used to be after watching the very famous movie. Don't remember the name, but I guess it's The Call or The Ring. It's about Samara, the girl with the black hair in front like this. I watched it. Oh, that's that's a creepy story, but yeah, I watched it when I was like 10 years old, and my mom, she downloaded the movie because my mom, she loves scary movies, like she just adores it, and she downloaded The Ring. Let's say it's the Ring movie, and she said, look, if you're gonna use computer, don't you ever open this file. You know what happens when parents say so? Of course, you open the files. I was at home with my grandma only, and I was bored, so I decided to open up the file just to see what is that. Is it like some like, what is that? So I opened the file and I saw it was a movie, and I was curious why she told me not to watch it. So I just scrolled a little bit, and I kind of scrolled to the part when Samara is getting out of, I don't know what it's like, what it's in English, the well, right? And she's going out of the TV. Yes, so she's like crawling out of the TV, and I saw the part, and I was so scared. I was like really mortified, and I couldn't look, and I started screaming, and I asked my grandma to turn off the file, and my grandma, when she saw it, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." That's what she did. She really started to pray. Yeah, and that was it. After that, I was really scared of Samara until my 20s, I guess, and I was really afraid of darkness. But for my mom, no, she finds it fascinating. She's like, when it gets to the part when Samara is crawling out of the TV, she would be like, finally, here's the movie. This is the fun part. Yeah, I don't know. We're just so different with my mom, I would say. Yeah, so let me know in the comments if you are afraid of the darkness, or if you were ever afraid of the darkness. And let's see. Okay, now we're gonna read the second story, The Hollow Eyes, and I have lots of hopes on this story because I really wanna get scary. But yeah, the first one was like interesting but not scary at all. The Hollow Eyes. In the village of Pine Heaven, nestled on the edge of a dense foreboding forest, the nights were long, and the shadows seemed to whisper secrets that no one dared to speak aloud. The villagers lived in constant fear of the woods, for they knew the stories, tales of dark spirits and ghostly apparitions. Apparitions with hollow. Is that right? Apparitions with hollow. Empty sockets where their eyes should be. What is that? Tales of dark spirits and ghostly apparitions with hollow, empty sockets where their eyes should be. So, like, they don't have eyes. Yeah, do I understand it correctly? They don't have eyes, just like hollow, empty hollow. That's creepy already. I don't want to picture that. We move on. These specters, known as the hollow eyes, were said to be the souls of those who had died within the forest. Their eyes stolen by the malevolent forces that lurked among the ancient trees. I guess every city has its own forest with the stories, they scare kids with. Like, don't go to the woods because you're gonna see hollow eyes, or don't go to the woods because you're gonna see your chemistry teacher. I don't know, but it seems like every city has its mysterious forest with dark spirits. The elders warned the young never to venture too close to the forest, especially after dusk, when the hollow eyes were said to roam freely, searching for souls to drag into the darkness. But Anna, a girl of fierce curiosity and unyielding courage, was not like the others. She was special. Okay, she was chosen one. She had heard the tales of the hollow eyes all her life, whispered around the hearth during long winter nights. But she refused to believe them. To her, they were just stories. She's like, where are the proofs? Where are the proofs? Just give me the proofs. She had heard the tales of the hollow eyes all her life, whispered around the hearth during long winter. I read it already. To her, they were just stories meant to keep children from staying too far from home. And she's an adult already. She's like 12. One crisp autumn evening, as the sun dipped low behind the trees and the sky blazed the fiery colors of twilight, Anna made up her mind. She would prove to the villagers that the stories were nothing more than myths. With a lantern in hand, she slipped out of her home, her footsteps quiet on the worn path that led to the edge of the forest. The air grew colder as she approached the tree line, the towering pines casting long, dark shadows across the ground. The forest loomed before her, a wall of darkness that seemed to breathe and pulse with an unseen life. For a moment, Anna hesitated, but it was just for a moment. Her heart fluttering with a flicker of fear, but she pushed it aside. I was very into performing this scene, so I lost the sentence. Yeah, pushed it aside, lifting her lantern high and stepping boldly into the woods. The trees closed in around her, their branches intertwining above her head like the twisted fingers of ancient giants. The further she went, the more oppressive the air became, thick with the scent of damp earth and decay. The light from her lantern flickered, casting The light from her lantern flickered, casting weak beams that barely penetrated the darkness. The shadows seemed to shift and move at the edges of her vision, but whenever she turned to look, there was nothing there. Ooh, it gets spooky. I have to drink a cup of tea. Okay. As night fell, the forest grew darker, the world around her consumed by the inky blackness. Anna's footsteps were the only sound, the crunch of leaves beneath her boots, a hollow echo in the stillness, but soon even that was drowned out by a faint, whispering sound, a chorus of voices that seemed to come from all directions at once. Hannah! Hannah! She froze, her blood running cold as the voices called her name, soft and insistent. The whispers grew louder, more urgent, as if the forest itself was speaking to her, urging her to go deeper, to find what lay hidden in the darkness. Her heart pounded in her chest, but she forced herself to keep moving, her grip tightening on the lantern's handle. Suddenly, she saw them, pale, ghostly figures emerging from the shadows, their forms barely more than wisps of mist. They drifted towards her, their movements slow and deliberate, as if drawn by the light of her lantern. But it was their eyes, or rather the absence of them, that sent a jolt of terror through her. Are you already scared? All right. Where their eyes should have been were only dark, hollow voids, blacker than the night itself. The hollow eyes moved silently, their outstretched hands reaching for the worms of her lantern. The whispers surrounded her, swirling like a storm in her mind, their words unintelligible. Oh my gosh, I thought for a moment that my English is getting better, but then this word, unintelligible, but filled with a deep, aching sorrow. Anna wanted to run, to flee from the apparitions closing around her, but her legs felt heavy, as my back right now feels so heavy because I sit like a dog, okay? Oh my god. Yeah, so her legs felt heavy, as if rooted to the ground. The hollow eyes drew closer, their cold, ethereal fingers brushing against her skin, sending chills through her body. The light of her lantern flickered wildly, struggling against the encroaching darkness. The whispers grew louder, more desperate, until they were all she could hear, drowning out her thoughts, her fear, everything. The last thing Anna saw was the endless black voids where the ghost's eyes should have been, deep and empty like the abyss itself. The light from her lantern went out, plunging her into darkness, and the cold fingers, of the hollow eyes wrapped around her, pulling her into the void. They got her. Did they get her, right? Oh my god. It's not scary, but I feel so sorry for Anna. The next morning, when the villagers ventured to the edge of the forest, they found Anna lying on the ground, her body still and cold. Did she die? Her lantern was beside her, its glass cracked and its flame extinguished. But it was her eyes that horrified the most. Her once bright eyes were gone, replaced by hollow black voids, as if they had been carved out by some unseen hand. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting. The villagers buried Anna she died. I have like a little hope for Anna. Maybe she was turned into one of those creatures, but then someone will save her, probably the prince as always. But no, no, she died, you know? The villagers buried Anna that day, their hearts heavy with sorrow and fear. They spoke of the hollow eyes in hushed voices, their belief in the old tales now unshakable. They knew that Anna's spirit had been claimed by the forest, another lost soul to wander the woods with empty sockets, searching for someone to take her place. And on dark, foggy nights, when the wind howled through the trees and the shadows seemed to move with a life of their own, the villagers would lock their doors and pray that they would never see the hollow eyes again. Those ghostly apparitions with their terrible, empty stares. For to look into those hollow voids was to lose oneself to the darkness, to be claimed by the spirits of the forest, and to become another of the lost souls that haunted the woods forever. That's so sad. I think that this story is a metaphor. I would say it's like a depression, you know? The forest, it's like a dark place you go. The forest is you. It's you, but it's your dark place. And when you go into it, it means that you are going into the dark side of you, which is like depression, sadness, I don't know. And you have two ways: survive it, or just being kept by it, you know? I feel like this could be the metaphor of this story. By the way, in Ukrainian folklore, we have mavka. Those are forest spirits of girls who died young, and they lure people into the woods just like the hollow eyes. But mavka is usually portrayed as a beautiful creature. I might add like picture right here, so you're gonna see how we portray them. But usually it's like a beautiful creature, but it can turn into a monster, you know, with the teeth, with the scary look. I guess this is how you guys in the Western culture portray mermaids. Yeah, the mermaids, the ones that are scary mermaids, not the ones who is Ariel, right? The next story should be the scariest one. It's the hunger of the Wendigo. In the cult, desolate. I'm already struggling with it. Desolate wilderness of the northern forest, there is a legend whispered among the hunters and trappers. Trappers. An ancient creature that stalks the snowy woods, driven by an insatiable, oh my gosh. Driven by insatiable hunger. All right, I hope it's correct. The Wendigo, they say, is a spirit of famine. Is a spirit of famine. Is a spirit of famine and greed, a monster born from the darkest corners of the human soul. Those who encounter it are doomed to become like it, forever cursed to hunger for the flesh of their own kind. Oh my gosh. I was like, oh. If it's about kids, I'm not gonna read it, alright? Their own kind. Elias, a seasoned hunter who has spent years in the wilderness, hears the tales of the Wendigo from the elders of a nearby indigenous village. He dismisses the stories as mere superstition, but the fear in their eyes lingers in his mind. One winter, when the snow lies thick on the ground and the cold bites deep Alias and his hunting party venture deep into the forest. Again, the forest. Like, forest is like everywhere, okay? Every scary story should have a forest. Can you tell me what story doesn't have a forest? Okay, deep into the forest in search of game. But as the days pass, the forest remains silent. No tracks in the snow, no signs of life, only the howling wind and hollow eyes, and the creaking of frozen trees. Desperate to return with food, the party presses on. But the cold and hunger begin to take their toll. One night, as they huddle around a weak fire, they hear a distant, mournful cry echoing through the trees, a sound like the wail of a lost soul. The men exchange uneasy glances, but Elias brushes it off as the wind. Still, he can't shake the feeling that something is watching them from the darkness. Something that is neither man nor beast, nor. Do I sound like Australian now? As the nights grow colder and the food runs out, the men's spirits begin to break. One by one, they fall ill, their faces gaunt and pale, their eyes hollow with hunger. Elias feels the same gnawing emptiness in his own belly, a hunger that no amount of food can satisfy. This is exactly how I feel right now, and like every day, okay? Yeah. One night, he wakes to find one of the men missing, following the tracks in the snow. He stumbles upon a gruesome scene, the man's body torn apart, the snow around him stained with blood. Standing over the remains is a figure, tall and emaciated. emaciated. Its skin stretched tight over its bones, its eyes glowing with a malevolent light. The story is so hard. It's very hard because the English, it's like premium subscription to me. The Wendigo stares at Elias with eyes that burn with a cold, cruel intelligence. Its mouth filled with sharp, jagged teeth twists into a grotesque smile. Elias tries to run, but the creature is upon him in an instant. Its breath hot and rancid on his neck. It whispers to him in a voice like the rustling of dead leaves, telling him that the hunger will never leave him, that he will become like it, a creature of endless appetite. Tag in comments your bestie who's a creature of endless appetite. I'm not sure you can do it on YouTube. Can you tag people? I'm not sure. I think you can just send them the exact part, that you want them to watch or listen. Elias manages to escape, but the damage is done. He returns to the camp, but his mind is plagued by the Wendigo's curse. The hunger inside him grows stronger with each passing day until he can no longer resist its pull. One night, driven mad by the hunger, Elias turns on the last remaining member of his party, tearing into him with a savagery that horrifies even himself. As he consumes the flesh, oh my gosh, no. The word flesh really just drives me like crazy. I can't digest it, okay? If he consumes okay, the flash. He feels his humanity slipping away, replaced by something cold and monstrous. By the time he's found by a search party a week later, Elias is no longer the man they once knew. His eyes are wild and hollow, his body gone and twisted, his hands stained with blood. They take him back to the village. They take him back to the village. So they see a person who doesn't look like a person. He's covered with blood, his body gone and twisted, and people like, nice. Let's take him to the village. Let's see what happens. But he's beyond saving. The curse of the Wendigo has taken hold, and Elias disappears into the night, leaving behind only the echoes of his hunger and the cold wind that whispers through the tears. The villagers know that he has become one of them, a Wendigo, doomed to roam with wilderness, hunting and devouring all who cross his path. Which one is the scariest? But because for now, I think I can pick the one that is the most disgusting. Okay, the third one, I'd say. I was not scared at all. I don't know. It's like I told you. I don't believe in reading scary stories, so they will make you feel scared. I don't know. If you have stories like that, I would be so happy to read them. Really, maybe I would even read it to you guys. So you can send me your stories that you find really scary. I'm gonna leave the contacts in the description. So Merry Christmas, guys. If you want more scary stories from me, let me know in the comments. Or if you want other stories, I can read whatever, all right? As I love reading and in English, it's just like my favorite thing to do. Thank you for watching these videos. Check out my other bedtime stories and also check out my bedtime thoughts if you're craving for someone's opinion. I'll see you in my next one. Good night. It's good that I don't have to sleep with those stories alone anymore, as you now know them too.